Okay, so these are not your average kids' cartoons. They're Armenian fairy tales of Soviet surrealism and straight up psychedelic art, all mashed together, and honestly, they might be the one and most unexpectedly fun way to pick up a language. Hi, I'm Margot, and welcome to my little corner of the internet where I nerd out on the weird intersection between animation and languages. Today I wanted to tell you a little about a trippy and very unforgettable world of Robert Saakyants. I believe that's how it's written, but I'm not completely sure because I'm not a native Armenian speaker, but I try. Saakyants was basically the animator and the legend of Armenia and the Soviet Union from the 70s to the 2000s. He made over 30 award-winning animations, specifically shorts, at Armenian film. He would take short stories and turn them into these psychedelic fever dreams that everybody seems to love watching even still. So a lot of his best works, and the one that I enjoy most, come from stories from Hovhannes Tumanyan, who is an Armenian poet and writer, and reformatted a lot of Armenian folk tales. And Saakyants takes his works and turns them into animations, which are very hard to forget. I'll start with a quick tour, a brief synopsis of a few of the ones that I really enjoyed, and then tell you a little bit about what makes them useful for language learning. So the first one is Три синих озера малинового цвета, or Three blue lakes of crimson color. And it's a short fairy tale and absurdist comedy about a boy who dreams of going hunting with his brothers and dad, and it slowly spirals into this chaos and of pop culture references and surrealist visuals. The next one is Кто расскажет небылицу, or Who Will Tell a Fable, about a king who promises half of his lands to his subjects if they win this truth or dare type of contest, and gets outsmarted in the end. There's Ух ты говорящая рыба, or Wow, a talking fish, about which is an Armenian spin on the goldfish tale, where a fisherman catches a fish and the fish talks to him saying, "Let me go, I'll do good for you." And it's kind of an interesting twist on that one. Also very fun to watch. There's В синем море в белой пене, or In the Blue Sea in the White Foam. It's a full-on fever dream about a boy who frees a sorcerer from this vessel and gets recruited as his heir and to learn dark powers, and in the end kind of escapes from these clutches. There's Ишь ты масленица, or Wow Масленица, the cheeky folk comedy about a boy who humiliates a greedy landlord because the landlord wants the boy's parents to pay for taxes on last year's snow, like snow that's falling down. That's just the general kind of synopsis of all of them. Now I want to give you 5 different reasons why they're very good for language learning. Firstly, they often have a lot of on-screen text parallel with the narration, especially for the blue sea of crimson. And they match it with the narration being spoken, which is very helpful for connecting sounds and spelling, especially if you're new to Cyrillic. The second reason is that the animation is extremely literal. So for example, for Ух ты говорящая рыба, at some point he says a hare can't swim across and an eagle can't run across, and that is literally what is being shown on the screen. Even though it is very tongue-twistery, that particular one, it's very useful to see the words and the phrases being literally visually shown on the screen. The third reason is that in Синем море в белой пене, there is an extremely catchy song. the lyrics are represented through visuals, which is very useful to match the concept with the words being sung. And they also rhyme, which is also easier to learn and understand and memorize. So you can learn those words by practicing the song, singing it in your head. And the fifth reason is because it shows a lot of Armenian and Soviet culture with the traditional stories and folk sayings and humor, and just generally bringing into the kind of cartoons a lot of people grew up watching, and have a better understanding of the things that they enjoyed. And the last reason is that honestly, they're very fun to watch even if you don't understand a word of them. So you get the input of the language, but you get to experience the psychedelic visuals and just live through the animation, vibing with the chaos, and that's part of the charm. Yeah, so these are short, so they're 8 to 12 minutes and super easy to binge. If you want to watch them in one go, I'll link the full compilation below. And yeah, please watch them. Learn some Russian, learn some Armenian, and even if you don't want to learn Russian or Armenian, please watch them still. They're very fun works of art. On another note, Sakans has Taverna, which is a little less trippy for those who want something less psychedelic. It's a series of 5 episodes following a pink rabbit who stumbles across a bunch of adventures whilst sitting and observing the others in the tavern. So very, very trippy, but not as bad as the other ones. And it also gives reference to a few of earlier Saakyants works, so there's that too. There's also Kikos, one of his earlier works. It's it's a funny Armenian classic about a family mourning a kid who hasn't even been born yet, and it's in a simpler art style, but an Armenian cultural staple, I would say. So please watch them, they're very fun, and yeah, I'll put all the links below. Thank you.